Hello everyone, today I introduce to you a very hilarious movie about an exciting adventure in the world of Minecraft. This is one of the most successful game-to-movie adaptation to date. Let's dive into the wonderful world of Minecraft together. This little boy is Steve. He always has one dream, to become a miner. Steve likes to explore treasures beneath the ground, a job where he can freely build and craft all kinds of things in the world. But life isn't always as dreamy as it seems. That kid dream never come true, because every time he plans to enter that mine, he ends up getting chased away by the old local miner. It makes the boy panic and run away. Obviously, children are not allowed enter the mining area. Time goes by, Steve grows up and lives a boring life. He is now an office worker, completely opposite to his childhood dream. Steve's current job makes him really bored. One time while eating lunch, Steve fiddles with his food and creates a mine. This action makes him remember his childhood and passion. Without hesitation, Steve decides to do what he couldn't do before. So, Steve returns to the mine to face the old miner. He may look fat, but he can nimbly dodge the old miner guard. Then he starts digging all over the mine. The surprising thing is Steve finds a glowing orb, and other strange crystal block. When he combines them together, Steve creates an energy portal. It is a link that leads to the overworld. This is a beautiful place. Surprisingly, everything here seems to be in blocky shapes. Even the creatures here also have blocky and extremely funny forms. While Steve is like a bird returning to the sky, he can create anything he imagines. It seems his childhood dream has come true. Everything is beautiful until it starts to get dark. Zombies and skeletons come to attack outside every 20 minutes. During that time, he just needs to hide in the house and will be fine. Early the next morning, as Steve opens the door, he sees a wolf growling in front of the house, but with just one bone. He tames it and names it Dennis, and he becomes Steve's best friend. With Dennis by his side, Steve is very happy. Both have built many amazing structures together. They even create a place called Steve's World. Steve also befriends a family of pandas here. They all dance together joyfully. Steve also discovers a nearby village. The villagers here are very peaceful and friendly. Steve even has a house here filled with special items. Then one day, while exploring the wonderful world, Steve discovers a stone portal, but it is missing a piece. Coincidentally, right next to it is a chest containing the missing piece. Steve completes it, then he opens a portal to another place. In contrast to the beautiful overworld, this place looks like hell and is called the Nether. Here, it's full of aggressive pigs called piglins. They have an endless greed for gold. The piglins are ruled by the evil leader, the witch Mangosa. After capturing Steve, she stole Orb of Dominance from his hands. With the power of Orb of Dominance, she can open a portal to the overworld, then plunder all the resources, and turns it into a place ruled by the piglins. Knowing that evil planned, Steve can't let the overworld be destroyed. When the guard isn't looking, he lets Dennis steal the key, then take back the orb and runs away. But the enemies are too many and aggressive. So Steve tells Dennis to take the orb back to Steve's home on Earth and hide it from the pickles. But Steve can't escape and gets captured. Cause Dennis runs too fast. He accidentally drops the necklace and the piglins pick it up. Meanwhile, Dennis follows his master's scent, bringing the orb back to his home on Earth, hiding it carefully under the bed. Then Dennis also goes to live on the mountain near the mine. Many years go by after that, and now, let me introduce to you a former gamer, whose name is Garrett Garrison. He used to be a gaming champion. When he was young, he gained fame and money. Currently, he runs his favorite gaming shop. However, his business is doing poorly. Garrett may look tough, but his personality is still like teenager. While he is living in the past, a male woman shows up, announcing that due to long overdue taxes, the shop will be seized. With no other choice, Garrett goes to meet his friend, who specializes in auctioning off abandoned containers. It's kind of like buying a blind box. Good stuff means profit, but if not, you will lose a lot of money. Garrett asks his buddy if there's any good deal today. The auctioneer says that, on the list, there is a very valuable Atari Cosmos game console from '78. Garrett is thrilled to hear that. If that's true, then it is a great bargain. Garrett says to try to give him a good price, and in return, he will take his buddy out to pick up girls. But, unexpectedly, many people also want to buy game console, so Garrett reluctantly buys it for $900, hoping it will be a profitable investment. Of course, he doesn't actually have that money, so he owes his friend, promising to pay back later. When Garrett opens the container, there's no game console in sight, just a bunch of random junk, including a strange orb. It's clearly a bait and switch. Furious, Garrett starts wrecking the warehouse. Now how is he has money to paying rent? To make things worse, on the way home, Garrett's favorite car breaks down in the middle of the road. What a streak of bad luck for Garrett. Not far from there, Natalie and Henry are siblings. Their parents have passed away, so now Natalie takes care of her little brother. They come to Potato Town because rent and living costs are much cheaper here. And Natalie has also applied for a job at a potato factory. With their small savings, they've managed to rent a cozy little house. When they arrive, they meet a real estate agent named Dawn. She also is a friend of their mother. Dawn is friendly and easygoing. She also wishes the two siblings good luck in the new town. Since it's Henry's first day at school, Natalie makes a potato pizza for her little brother. It's a dish their mother used to make for them. Natalie suggests bringing this pizza to school and sharing it with his new classmates might help him make friends more easily. On the way to school, Henry passes by Garrett's old game store. He looks very interested in the game consoles inside. Garrett sees this and boasts that he's a famous person, loved by the whole town, but Henry doesn't understand what Garrett's talking about, and says that he just moved to town and wants to say hi to new neighbors. He also invites Garrett to eat his potato pizza. Garrett says he can give the boy some advice, but Henry must sign up for the $50 gamer course. Indeed, nothing makes money easier than selling courses, but Henry refuses that offer. Then he goes to the school and meets the principal. The two have a rather friendly talk. The principal is very cheerful, talking non-stop about everything under the sun. We even know that she is having trouble in her relationship. Then Henry enters his classroom. His teacher asks the students to draw based on a template, but Henry creates his painting in a different style. However, the teacher doesn't approve. Henry should draw exactly as the realistic template. Because of that jet-powered banana painting, Henry gets mocked by his classmates, so the boy builds a jet rocket by himself, using some lab equipment from the classroom. But as he's finishing, some mean classmates try to ruin it. As a result, after starting it up, the jet rocket malfunctions unexpectedly and crashes straight into the potato factory, where Natalie is working, and it is the only job that supports the whole family. It is also the biggest company in the city. Because of this, Henry is sent to the principal's office. She asks to speak with his guardian, afraid his sister will scold him for the mischief. So Henry calls Gareth and asks him to pretend to be his uncle. At first, Gareth refuses, but as soon as he hears that Henry will pay $26, he immediately drives to the school. The principal seems love-struck when she sees Gareth, so she appears shy and demure. At the store, Henry says his rocket crashed into the potato factory, and he's afraid that when everything comes out, his sister will be fired. Blaming himself, he throws his notebook into the trash. While talking, Henry discovers a strange orb inside the store, and curiously asks about it, but Garrett has no idea what it's actually for. He also finds a paper underneath, warning to never combine the orb and the crystal, but this only makes the boy more curious, so he combines the two pieces together. The orb glows brightly and trembles intensely, as if it wants to lead them somewhere, so both of them curiously follow the cube's lead. They arrive at an abandoned mine. Dennis, outside, also witnesses them entering. Then he follows them sneakily. Meanwhile, Natalie comes home, realizes Henry isn't there and can't phone him. Worried that her little brother is missing, she calls Dawn for help. Using the tracking app, Dawn locates him at an old abandoned mine. While Henry and Garrett are amazed, standing in front of the portal to the overworld. Suddenly, Natalie's group appears, startling both of them. Abruptly, the mysterious cube pulls Henry toward the portal. Without hesitation, everyone tries to hold him back, but Henry is still pulled into the portal. Next, Garrett, Natalie, and Dawn also follow together. The fairy tale scene before them leaves everyone shocked. It's truly a beauty place that they cannot find on Earth. The animals and the surroundings make everyone feel both strange and fascinated. But what no one notices is that a villager in the overworld sees the portal and curiously goes through it to Earth, starting a new connection between two worlds. Meanwhile, deep in the gloomy and empty nether, the piglins are completely fed up with digging, having found no gold for a long time. This makes Witch Mangosa in a fit of rage. One piglin, instead of working, sits around doodling, and ends up getting stabbed by Mangosa, instantly turning into a piece of pork. At that moment, she picks up a signal. The overworld portal has been reactivated, so she heads down into the dungeon to find Steve. He is still imprisoned there, because Steve took the orb before. Therefore, Mangosa demands that Steve retrieve the Orb of Dominance for her. Then she pulls out Dennis the Wolf's collar, which a guard had picked up earlier, using it to threaten him, because Steve thought that Mangosa has captured Dennis. He reluctantly accepts her offer. Meanwhile, Garrett is trying all weird tricks to impress the Pink Sheep, hoping it will give them a quest, like in the games he usually plays. But suddenly, the sky turns dark. The howls of wolves echo throughout the forest, scaring the Pink Sheep into running away. Whole area falls completely scary, the atmosphere suddenly turning eerie, and a barrage of flaming arrows suddenly rains down on them. From the shadows, many skeletons emerge and attack. While sprinting, Garrett carelessly falls into a hole. The skeletons catch up and start shooting arrows down. Panicking, Garrett quickly digs sideways to dodge the arrows. Henry's group is also being chased like crazy, running for their lives. But the skeletons riding spiders seem pretty dumb. While running, the boy accidentally bumps into a tree stump. Thanks to that, he discovers how this strange world works. As the horde of ferocious zombies charges forward them, Henry uses his creativity and starts building with blocks, creating defensive structures to protect the others. But no one notices that the orb has fallen to the ground. Back to Garrett. He has dug a tunnel and managed to escape. But unlucky for Garrett, just as he crawls out, a creeper appears behind him. Instinctively, he hits it, and it explodes, blasting him into the air. Luckily, he's still fine. Then he runs to his friends, who are on top of the newly built fortress. On the way, he picks the orb back, but the skeletons shoot and shatter its outer crystal layer, causing the portal to close completely. Garrett quickly grabs the remaining crystal shard, and fights the zombies on his own. At a critical moment, Henry breaks through the wall to pull Garrett, thinking that everything is finally safe. But the creeper exploded and destroyed the wall. The zombies flood in and attack them. In the nick of time, Steve shows up like a true hero, with masterful skills. He takes down the monsters easily. Then the sun begins to rise. Its light sets the zombies ablaze, and all the other night creatures are also burned to ashes. While everyone is still stunned, Steve tells them he's here for the orb. Since the outer crystal is broken, they can't return to Earth. The only way is to find another crystal to replace the shattered one. But Steve is the only one who knows how to get it. So a deal is made. Steve will help Garrett's group get back to Earth. After it's completed, Steve will reclaim the orb. Until then, Henry will hold onto the orb. And so, their agreement is finalized with a sense of responsibility. Meanwhile, a villager of the overworld walks through the portal and arrives at Potato Town. Unfortunately, he gets hit by the principal's car. Afraid of getting into trouble with the police, the principal invites him to dinner to make it up to him. She also finds him very likable for not showing any anger toward her. Apparently, the principal has fallen this likable guy. In Overworld, Henry's group is led by Steve to a peaceful village. A giant iron golem appears, leaving everyone amazed. Steve says that this is the village's iron protector. They are very gentle, as long as no one mess with the villagers. Then Steve takes them to the lava-roasted chicken shop to recharge. Just pull the lever, and out comes freshly cooked lava-grilled chicken, while the group is relaxing in the village. Over in the Nether, Mangosa is furious at Steve for betraying her. She summons the strongest general in her army, Chungus, to retrieve the orb. He's powerful, but also seems dumb. Before sending them off, Mangosa gives her piglin army a special liquid that prevents them from turning into zombies when exposed to sunlight in the overworld. Then Steve takes everyone to the item storage to prepare for their adventure. Here, we see a wide variety of items, such as TNT, firework rockets, boots of swiftness, diamond armor full set, and plenty of swords. Garrett also opens Steve's ender chest. There, he finds an ender pearl that can teleport the user to wherever it's thrown. Curious, he tosses it, and Steve tells him that's the only pearl they have. Then, Steve teaches them how to craft weapons by using the available materials. Depending on their creativity, they can craft different items. Garrett then tries his hand at it, and ends up crafting a nunchuck made from buckets. It looks kind of silly, but it might still be usable. Next is Henry's turn. With his creativity, he crafts a chicken shooting gun, and the gun works surprisingly well. Garrett then pulls Steve aside and says about treasure. Steve responds that there is a diamond stash, but it's far from here and dangerous. Garrett says that without the diamonds, they won't hand over the orb. Steve casually agrees without hesitation. So two men decide to head to the diamond mine first. But just as they are about to leave, a horde of piglins attacks the village. Chaos quickly breaks out. The ferocious piglins attack and destroy everything around them. Steve's group also shows up, equipped with weapons. Steve also knows Chungus from when he was in prison. General Chungus tells Steve that they are here to retrieve the orb. Steve isn't afraid and ready to fight. But Garrett starts showing off, so he jumps into the fight with his dumb weapon, swings it wildly, then accidentally knocks Steve out. It's true that a dumb teammate is even scarier than a strong enemy. General Piglins then hits Garrett like a punching bag. When about to take more punches, the Iron Golem air and punch Chungus away. In this chaotic situation, Natalie and Dawn also charge in to attack the Piglins. Both sides clash in a fierce and fiery battle. However, the enemy's army is massive. As soon as one wave is defeated, another appears. Steve has woken up by now, but in the sky, the ghasts are shooting fireballs. The fire separates Henry and Natalie's groups. The Piglins now only chase Henry's group, cause they are carrying the orb. However, when they reach the top, there's no way forward. Steve attaches the Elytra to Henry and Garrett's backs. It is flying device. However, when it's his turn, Steve has no Elytra left, so he jumps down and clings to Garrett's back, which looks really funny, but the enemies don't let them go so easily. The ghasts carrying the Piglins are still chasing them from behind. One of the Piglin even grabs onto Henry's leg. A few ghasts also lose control and crash into the mountains, exploding. The Piglins from the cliff also chase after them and leap onto Steve's team. In a critical situation, Steve and Garrett work together to perform an impressive mid-air spin, flying straight through a hole in the cliff, escape from the enemies. Meanwhile, Henry cleverly uses a firework rocket to escape from the ghast's pursuit. However, he loses control, then crashes into the others. Steve quickly throws water down. Thanks to that, all three of them are safe. When everyone is safe, Steve tells Garrett and Henry about the witch Mangosa. When she was young, she had a deep passion for dancing, and she performed a wild dance in the Piglins talent contest. In return, she only received mockery and criticism. Her father told her that creativity doesn't bring happiness. Only gold is true happiness. That's why she hates creativity and worships gold. If she gets the Orb of Dominance, she will mine and destroy the entire beautiful overworld. In the Nether, Mangosa is furious at Chungus's failure. Losing her patience, she unleashes the mutated monster known as the Great Hog. It awakens in a rage and mercilessly blasts Chungus into a piece of pork. Great Hog will search the orb for her? Meanwhile, in the forest, Natalie and Dawn are still searching for Henry. They suddenly encounter a strange wolf. Dawn quickly offers the wolf a bone, which helps them befriend him easily. Realizing that this wolf, Dennis, belongs to Steve, they decide to follow him, hoping he will lead them to the others. Steve's group is now at the mine, where the precious diamonds are hidden. Garrett, being careless, accidentally steps on a trap set there. As a result, he gets beaten up badly over and over again. Later, when he sees the pile of diamonds, Garrett quickly stuffs some into his shirt to keep. But before he can take more, Steve notices something particularly dangerous. The Great Hog is definitely nearby, so they jump into the mine cart to run away. The cart speeds off, powered by redstone energy, but too heavy. The cart stops halfway through. All around them are creepers, just waiting to explode. Garrett gets out and pushes the cart to the next boost point. The others strike at the creepers. The cart finally reaches the boost point and speeds off. Then, the mine explodes along with the Great Hog. Thanks to that, the whole group manages to escape safely. Finally, the group reaches the castle, where the crystal is kept, to replace the broken one. Then, the group starts planning to steal the crystal. According to Steve, the place has 3 levels of security. The first floor is guarded by warrior villagers, and don't be foolish enough to fight them. The second floor is protected by dark wizards. Better not to let them detect you. The third floor holds the crystal, but it's guarded by an Enderman. Absolutely must not look into its eyes. The plan is set. Steve and Garrett disguise themselves as street performers to create a distraction, allowing Henry to sneak upstairs. With such a funny and cheerful band, how could they possibly stay alert around them? On the second floor, Henry is sneaking past the guards. Despite trying his best, he gets spotted at the last moment. He quickly runs upstairs, trying to escape. Garrett and Steve are now thrown into a fighting match. Steve is tied up in the corner of the ring, while Garrett is the fighter. Their opponent is a teenage zombie riding a chicken. Looks like a joke, but Steve warns not to underestimate their cute looks, cause it was taught martial arts by the village warriors, so it's way stronger than those dumb zombies in the forest. While the little zombie turned Garrett into a punching bag, Garrett strikes back and knocks out the zombie. sending it flying into a corner. Just then, the little zombie acts crying and pretends to be pitiful. When Garrett comes close, it suddenly bites his arm, then turning him into a punching bag again. Right as the zombie goes for the finisher, Steve charges in and knocks out it. Good thing Garrett doesn't turn into a zombie after getting bitten, unlike in other movies. Meanwhile, Henry is on the 3rd floor. The room is filled with chests holding rare items. There, he finds some powerful weapons and takes them with him. After searching for a while, he finally discovers the crystal that he has been looking for. But just then, an Enderman appears behind him. It uses its gaze to hypnotize Henry, making him lose control of his mind. But thanks to his strong will, he shuts his eyes tight and swings axe. Finally defeat it and gain a Ender Pearl. Then he digs down and accidentally falls right on Steve and Garrett. After that, they all run out of the castle. But just as they finish the Orb of Dominance, the witch Mangosa and her army are already waiting outside. She uses magic to snatch the orb right out of Henry's bag, then order the piglins to suicide bombs and finish them off. She really treats her minions like walking chunks of pork. Garrett throws Henry onto an enemy air balloon, and Steve jumps up right after him. But Garrett decides to stay behind to hold off the piglins, giving his friends a chance to escape. Then the suicide bombing pigs blow up the whole bridge, and the shockwave sends Steve and Henry crashing down to the ground. When Steve wakes up, he sees Dennis beside him. Dennis was found both Steve and Henry. Their reunion is filled with overwhelming joy. Meanwhile, Henry is being taken care of by Natalie. After surviving in the forest, both Natalie and Dawn have become skilled at crafting and fighting. Not far from there, Mangosa uses the Orb of Dominance to transform the environment of the overworld, opening a portal for the piglins to invade, and turning the sky into an eerie purple haze. Steve's group decides they must stop her to save the overworld. They start crafting iron materials in large quantities, and Steve uses it to create a powerful army of iron golems. Henry equips the slow golem with boots of swiftness, making them much faster. Meanwhile, Dawn uses bones from fallen skeletons to befriend with the pack of wolves in the forest. Natalie also equips herself with a sharp blade. Ready for the fight, now they have a massive army of iron golem, ready to defend the land. Mangosa laughs loudly, claiming that these golems won't fight unless provoked. Right then, a dumb piglin fires an arrow, and that's enough to enrage the golems. The battle kicks off, and the piglins get absolutely wrecked. Mangosa gets furious, and commands the Great Hog to join the battle. It's truly a worthy opponent for the Iron Golems. Meanwhile, Steve wears a full set of diamond armor, and faces Mangosa alone. Then, Steve charges at her, but he flies without enough power, so Mangosa hits Steve with a painful blow. Steve counterattacks her with some chickens. It looks silly, but it distracts her from the battle. Right now, Henry and Natalie join the battle. They get past the piglins to reach the teleportation portal. Dawn and the wolf pack also appear to assist the sisters in reaching the target safely. Then Henry uses the teleportation orb to climb above it, aiming to retrieve the Orb of Dominance. Henry quickly forms a staircase to reach the orb, but Great Hog noticed this and aimed to shoot Henry. The explosion makes the boy fall and drop from a great height. Everyone is filled with fear and despair as they witness the scene. Luckily, Garrett appears just in time on an air balloon and saves the boy. Everyone bursts into joy as they both save Henry and realize that Garrett is still alive. After that, they control the ghasts to strike and collapse the portal. When the teleportation portal is destroyed, the sunlight of the overworld returns. The sunlight gradually weakens the piglins and turns them into zombies. Even the Great Hog is finally defeated by the Iron Golem. Mangosa has also lost all her powers and magic at this point, so she tries to sneak attack Steve, but he blocks all her attempts. Steve show mercy and leave, but Mangosa, now completely drained, collapses. Natalie has also recovered the Orb of Dominance, and then the friends happily reunite. After everything is settled, Steve says his goodbyes to the group, as he has an endless passion for Minecraft. But in the end, with the immense love that his friends have for him, Steve decides to follow them, and together. A few days later, everything has changed. Steve now runs the shop alongside Garrett, and the game store is packed with people every day. The group has developed a brand new video game based on their recent adventure. They also host weekly music events, bringing joy to the community. Life has improved for everyone. Natalie has opened her own self-defense school, receiving support from a large number of students. Dawn and Dennis bring happiness and laughter to the local townsfolk. And Henry, at last, successfully builds a jetpack, leaving his friends in awe of his achievement. Their incredible adventure in the Minecraft world has truly made all their lives better. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to Dragon Recap to enjoy more 4K movies with immersive sound. Up next, I will analyze this film and point out interesting details you might have missed. The beginning of the movie recreates exactly the opening scene of the Minecraft game, with the text, "Building terrain." At the auction, famous YouTubers in the Minecraft community appear. They are guests playing the roles of the auction participants to honor their contributions to the game. In the village, a pig wearing a crown and a cloak appears, representing Technoblade, the famous YouTuber who passed away in 2022. His avatar was a pig wearing a crown. He made tremendous contributions to Minecraft, and this is the film's way of paying tribute to him. In the arena, a zombie riding a chicken appears in a very humorous battle. In the game, it's also known as a chicken jockey, featured in the game's mob versions. The scene shows Steve's group falling from a great height, but Steve quickly throws water, allowing the whole group to land safely. It's a popular trick in the game. No matter how high you fall, if you place water fast enough, you won't take any damage. The wolf taming detail is taken directly from the game. In Minecraft, you can tame wolves using bones to make them your companions. Natalie crafts a diamond sword, which is a powerful weapon in the game. To craft it, you need a rare material, diamond. Meanwhile, Steve has an entire diamond mine. That explains why he has a full set of legendary diamond armor and sword. Steve's inventory also contains many iconic items from the game. There are even legendary items. This truly excites anyone who plays Minecraft. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.